Okay guys, so this one's going to be kind of a long one. I'm going to try and run through this stuff as quickly as possible. I don't want to make this video too long. So the first thing that I had to do was go to Open File Location, Properties, Compatibility, Disable Full Screen Optimizations, Change High DPI, use this one to when you signed into Windows, and Application Controlled. Okay. Then we're going to go to here, Search, Fix, Blurry. Okay, you want to turn this off. And then go into System. Now this one's going to be your personal preference, but it will help performance. So I hit Custom, turned everything off except smooth edges of screen fonts. And what that does is, like, you see this doesn't have the normal animation and stuff, but I don't really care about animations on that kind of crap. And the reason for all of this is if we go to Task Manager and this thing here, this likes to lock up RPCS3. If I analyze the weight chain of RPCS3 during a crash, in particular with Dante's Inferno, this EXE shows up, DWM EXE, and it's almost always what's crashing Dante's Inferno. It's kind of why it's been so long for me to make this video. Now, it doesn't 100% fix it, and sometimes we still get crashes with Dante's Inferno. Usually you can just close the emulator, reload it, and it's fine. So I'll run through these settings for Dante's Inferno. Most of them are just the default settings. I turned this one off, lowering the SPU thread priority to try and alleviate that thread lock, but it will still happen. Enable Thread Scheduler only works for Ryzen processors. However, I left it enabled. Again, it's not really going to affect performance one way or the other, but I have seen reports that sometimes it does do stuff on Intel. So I just left it to see. Frame limit, I have it set to 30. If you set it to 60 or off with VSync, you'll hit 60 most of the time with drops to the mid to low 50s. And the problem with that is the audio on here will break. You'll have snaps and pops and all kinds of weird garbage sounds. So I just I have it limited to 30. You'll be fine with the audio on 30. Standard frame buffer for the audio at 100 milliseconds. For debug, I have used GPU texture scaling. Over here, I have this set to 400. I'm still kind of playing with that. You could probably set it to 200 or 300 and be fine. Not much else changed in here. Again, it's mostly just the defaults. Alright, let's boot it up. Now, if it crashes the first time, usually just closing and reloading is fixing it. This is using the latest Intel drivers, so from March 3rd, 2021. Oh, come on. And it's also the latest build of RPCS3 as of today, the 4th. And let's just see if it works. I've been playing with it a bit today. I've been trying to get this to work for about 5 weeks now, which is why I haven't made a video about it. Because I want to show you guys the best settings to get it to run stable. Unfortunately, it seems, I don't think it's a driver issue or even an RPCS3 issue. I'm thinking it's a Windows issue, I think. Some Windows update broke it. Normally I'd start a new game, but I have seen that opening cutscene so many times, I just can't do it again. So, another solution I have found that sometimes works, and I want to emphasize sometimes, is just deleting your shader cache every time you start the game, or disabling disk shaders. Neither option is particularly great, especially when you're doing a boss fight or QTE events. So as you can see, it froze here, which is fine. And it says it's compiling shaders. I think it's a hard freeze. It's not going to let me. Alright. Yep. Now if we reload it, at least the past few times I've tested this before recording, this worked. Hopefully it does again. It's not a great solution, but until either a Windows update fixes this, or RPCS3 or an Intel driver, which I'm not expecting either of those to actually fix this. I think it's a Windows issue. And it only seems to, in fact, be an issue for Intel graphics. Because I don't experience this when I use my eGPU. And let me know in the comments below if you guys want me to do some testing with the eGPU. I kind of prefer trying to run this stuff with just the integrated graphics for a couple reasons. Part of the reason I love doing these videos for like the Win Max is because whatever settings I put in should work for you. It's the same hardware configuration compared to, you know, using different graphics and all kinds of, you know, processors and you know, different configurations need different settings. But the Win Max, everybody has the same thing. So as you can see, we're loading, we're getting pretty solid 30. I played through this bit a little bit earlier to try and get all the textures cached, so we won't be waiting on that, or shaders rather. Yeah, so far this seems to be the best method for getting this game to work right. I may show Xenia briefly in this video, or make a separate one. I'm not a big fan of Xenia right now. Mainly because the configuration for the emulator is all in an INI file, rather than, you know, just going through menus and toggling stuff. I prefer that because I can tweak settings while the game is running, and see how it affects it. So I could change the frame rate right now and all kinds of stuff, the limiter, while the emulator is running, which is nice because I can kind of troubleshoot it that way. Whereas with an INI, I've got to load it, change it, close the game, reopen the game. So this is my preferred emulator for this gen of consoles. But I will probably do some Xenia emulation at some point, as there are Microsoft exclusives I would like to try and see how they run. But yeah, I mean, it is more stable than it has been in the past for me. And that may be an RPCS3 update, it may have been the Intel driver update. But I'm finally confident in doing a video on this game with RPCS3, as this has been a pretty stable fix. I've been able to try it multiple times and it'll work. You know, I'll get the game to crash on that first load, and then after closing and reopening the emulator, it seems to work. So I'm kind of trying to show you guys configurations that will at least allow you to play the game with some quality. And if I can figure out how to get the game to stay at 60, I'll show you guys that, because it does play a lot better. The game does natively run at 60 on the PS3, which is why I find it so weird when I have it set to 60 that the audio is broken. And I've tried so many settings, it's ridiculous how much work I've tried getting this game to work. So I'm just going to kind of stick with this for now as the configuration that I think works best. I was actually able to play all the way through this boss fight, and it didn't crash or have any other issues. So I'm just gonna say that this is probably the best way on the WinMax to play. And again, I can show you guys Xenia if you would like to see it. I probably won't do it in this video because I don't want to make too long of a video like I did before. I had a 30-minute video of this game earlier, and I just gave up trying to upload it. Yeah, let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for how to get this game to run better, or you know, what you think. Thank you guys for watching, and I should have some more videos out today.